So when we were selecting our social science programme for the Made Smarter Innovation Challenge, InterAct stood out for two reasons. One, it had a very novel approach in terms of pulling together insights from the social science academic community that's here already. And secondly, was the dynamism of the team that were behind it. It really, really stood out for the energy and passion that the leadership of InterAct have. So the ambition of the Made Smarter Innovation Programme was predicated by the Made Smarter review, published in 2017 and led by Jürgen Meyer. And the focus of that was really around the development and application of industrial digital technologies to drive productivity in UK manufacturing. That's subsequently been expanded to cover job creation and broader gross value add and economic activity, and also some environmental improvements around carbon emissions and waste reduction. But it's more than just about the technology. There's a lot more to it than that. For successful application of these technologies, we have to consider business models, we have to consider cultural change, and we have to consider how these technologies affect people's day-to-day working lives. And so a program like InterAct, and the InterAct program is designed to address those points, to pull together the insights that come from the academic community in the social sciences and economics to provide that context of how we can deploy these technologies meaningfully and at scale. So when we're thinking about the deployment of technology in manufacturing, it's really important to think about the human dimension of this. This can be down to the point of view of individuals and how that might affect their day-to-day working environment and their day-to-day working lives and how much fulfillment they get from their jobs, but also at the societal level to think about the effects of new technology on manufacturing communities and how that might affect particular groups of people. So the key things that have made the network successful is firstly the opportunity to look back into the academic literature to identify the insights that are already out there that relate to best practice and how technologies can be applied into industrial environments. There's already a lot of knowledge out there, but InterAct have been able to organise that and translate it into plain English that manufacturers have been able to understand. The second thing is it's given a great deal of opportunity for early career researchers to explore areas that they're particularly interested in. And so we've seen a lot of progression of those early career academics into new areas, and they've gone on then to do some really amazing things and go on to work with some really fantastic organisations. I think the lasting impact of InterAct is really the demonstration of how powerful consideration of the social sciences is in technology development for manufacturing. It's a new area, and it's really crucial to unlock the future scale-up of the use of digital technologies in manufacturing to drive productivity, resilience, and carbon abatement. That's one of the great difficulties, is trying to bridge the world of academia and the language that academia uses to the world of industry and the language that industry uses. And so some of the really interesting things that have come out today is what they call the emergent theory of change. So we've retrospectively been able to understand how InterAct will go on to make effective change in the way that it can, so in the areas of productivity, sustainability and resilience. And they've made some particular kind of observations and insights. For example, the development of local peer-to-peer networking to try to break through some of the noise that manufacturers have in terms of what they should do, all the advice that they're being provided. And so that's something that's a very clear direction that's come from InterAct. And I think that we'll see that happen in how manufacturers engage with the programme. Particular highlight for me of these last 2 days has been seeing how this all fits together. InterAct has been characterised by a number of themes. There have been some sandpit events and new programmes have emerged through the project. But today I've seen how through the emergent theory of change that it all fits together. And now we can point at one thing that InterAct has done that explains the entirety. And that's something that I think has been a really fantastic outcome from today. So 3 years after we funded the InterAct programme, and we've invested an awful lot of money in developing technology across the Made Smarter Innovation Challenge, it's great to see InterAct come to this final stage and offer up insight into all of the things around technology that will allow those great innovations to go on and find application in UK manufacturing.